Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to look at a video on when can auditors perform 100% substantive audit testing. So let's get into the video. So we said performing 100% substantive testing. So the first question we have here is, can auditors actually test all transactions of an entity? Okay, you know, as an auditor we are always used to sampling. We do a lot of sampling because we don't normally test 100%. But yes, there are some situations or there are some circumstances where the auditors can actually test 100% of all transaction. Okay, so in such a case the auditor does not need any sampling technique. Okay, the auditor does not need to select any samples because they're going to be testing 100%. So under what circumstance can this 100% testing be done? So the auditor can perform 100% testing on some specific audit engagement. Okay, and now we are going to look at what are the characteristics that the auditor needs to watch out for to have an idea if they are going to be performing 100% substantive testing. Okay, so the first thing, so if you have a client, the first thing you're going to look at what is the concentration of the ownership and management. Okay, so if it's a company that that is owned and managed by like a single individual or just a small group of people, okay, that might so for the auditor that should like ring a bell that there will be lack of segregation of duties. Okay, because if they don't have a lot of people doing so many stuffs, there's going to be a lack of segregation of duty, and usually a lack of segregation of duty is a pervasive audit risk. Okay, so once we know that that is a pervasive audit risk, that should give the auditor a sign like they might have to perform you know, a lot of audit testing. Okay, so let's look at another characteristics when there's less complex transaction. Okay, so if the company is if it has a simple organizational structure, they have very simple operations and then simple activities, in that case the auditor might find it easier to just, you know, to perform 100% substantive testing in that kind of a case. And lastly, if the client has a very simple system of internal control, okay, so whereby the internal control is informal, right, in that case the auditor should know that there is the likelihood of management override. Okay, there's the possibility that management will be able to override those controls because it's very simple and informal. Again, that will be a pervasive audit risk. Okay, so as the auditor, how are you going to respond to this pervasive audit risk? Okay, so one way will be to, so if I'm the auditor on this file, I'm going to be, okay, my audit response to this pervasive audit risk might be for me to perform 100% of transactions testing. Okay, so 100% of transaction will be tested substantively. So can you see, in this kind of a case, yes, the auditor can actually test all transactions. So but you have to note that 100% audit testing in 1 year does not mean that, you know, automatically you have to perform 100% testing for the client in the next year, because the clients may grow, they may get bigger, they may have more transactions in the next year. In that case 100% substantive testing might not be possible. So 100% testing might not be reasonable in that instance. So the auditor needs to apply judgment in deciding if they can perform 100% testing by, you know, looking at some of these qualitative characteristics we have just looked at. So yes, an auditor can perform 100% substantive testing. Thank you very much for watching the video today. I'm going to see you in my next video, and bye.